Hi guys, welcome back to Eye of the Beholder. Short and pithy today, let's move on to our next dragon, my own personal favorite of the chromatic dragons, the Mighty Blues. Blue dragons prefer a desert environment. Like most dragons, they generally will establish their lair underground and are quite adept at burrowing into the sand, oftentimes with just the single large horn at the end of their muzzle protruding from the desert floor. The breath weapon of a blue is a blast of lightning, which is how they like to start a battle before closing in for melee. Final note, despite their evil nature, they are known for being quite good parents to their wyrmlings. We get our first blue dragon, wyrmling, in WOTC's second set, 2003's Dragon Eye. Set on a small base, this cute little guy is a perfect miniature of a fully grown blue dragon. Nose horn, check. Vibrant blue with a yellowish hue on the underside of the wings, check. Nasty disposition, absolutely check. Solid playability in either a lair or encounter setting, and it's cool as hell, so the score is Paint 20, Pose 21, Playability 21, Pizzazz 24, for a score of 86. 3 years later, we get our first full-grown blue dragon in the Death Knell set. The paint is exceptional on this mini. The vibrant blue really pops, which really makes the horn and teeth stand out. Yellow wings and underbelly complete the color palette. Pose-wise, I really like that the dragon is standing atop a rock outcropping, as if poised atop a high desert rock formation, overseeing his domain. Great visage as well. Score: Paint 23, Pose 25, Playability 21, Pizzazz 24, for a score of 93. In 2007, WOTC gives us their second special release, our gargantuan blue dragon. The blue of this mini is muted compared to the others, and the typical yellow underbelly and underwings have faded to a light brown as befitting an ancient great worm. Unlike the gargantuan black dragon, the pose has this beast on all fours, giving him a more stocky, bulkier look. No less menacing, though, with a pose giving the appearance of advancing upon a group of hapless adventurers. Also, note the whitish spikes running the length of the tail, and imagine the damage a tail whip from this monster would do. Score: Paint 23, Pose 24, Playability 25, and of course, Pizzazz 25, for a score of 97. We get our next blue a year later in 2008's Demon Web set. Called a Storm Rage Blue Dragon, this is by far the most dazzling, color-wise, of the blues. A bright blue and even brighter yellow make this mini stand out. Pose shows this dragon crouched over its forelegs, and I really like how its tail is raised above its back. Also, note them all, each tooth is individually defined. Score: Paint 25, Pose 23, Playability 22, Pizzazz 23, for a score of 94. We get our final WOTC Blue Dragon in 2010's Lords of Madness set. Called an Elder Blue Dragon, this huge mini might be my favorite. The deeper blue of his hide, combined with the light beige of the underbelly and underwings, denotes a worm that has reached full adulthood. A full set of white spines running down his back complete the look. The pose is dynamic as well, set upon yet another rock outcropping, wings spread as if about to take flight, gaze firmly upon its enemy. Yeah, I'm doing it. Give this mini a 100. In 2014, WizKids comes out of the gate with a blue dragon in their inaugural Tyranny of Dragons set. The blue is a little duller, and I'm not a fan of the white underbelly and wings, but I do really like the pose. Another dragon caught in mid-flight, again looking as if it's pulling up to discharge a lightning blast. It's perfectly fine, playability and pizzazz-wise, but for me, I like the earlier Blue Dragon minis better. Score: Paint 14, Pose 20, Playability 15, Pizzazz 17, for a score of 66. A year later, we get another Blue Dragon in 2015's Elemental Evil set. Paint-wise, well, to quote David Byrne, same as it ever was. Exact same color palette as the last mini, just on a smaller mini. The pose is different, with this mini having fully extended wings with forelegs also extended as if gliding into an attack. Playability is lower, but I do think it's a cooler looking mini, so pizzazz is higher. I know, stop making sense. Score: Paint 14, Pose 22, Playability 13, Pizzazz 18, for a score of 67. After giving us Blue Dragons in back-to-back sets, WizKids goes 5 years before we get another in the 2020's Fangs and Talons set. Called a Young Blue Dragon, this is a really cool looking mini with a pose unlike any we've seen before. To me, it looks like he's coming in for a landing, wings fully extended but banked to cup the air for a soft landing. Great detailing on the head and visage, and the positioning of the legs and tail denote kinetic movement. Paint-wise, not a fan of the lighter blue, dirty gray, but the red in the mouth and the black claws are a nice touch. Score: Paint 19, Pose 25, Playability 20, Pizzazz 23, for a score of 87. 2 years later, we get our second Blue Dragon Wormling in 2022's Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons set. This little guy has exactly the same paint palette as the last mini, down to his little black claws. Pose-wise, well, he's just the cutest little thing. From a playability standpoint, the fact that this is a common mini makes it easy to get. I have 4. Combine a few of these with the last and next mini, you got yourself a great family affair big boss battle. Score: Paint 18, Pose 19, Playability 20, Pizzazz 20, for a score of 77. Our final Blue Dragon mini comes from 2023's Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen set. And this huge-sized dragon is a named NPC, Bellafion. Not to give away too much of his backstory, but he often appears in human form before launching an attack. Back to the mini, he has the dark blue hide that I prefer, but I guess the yellow underbelly and wings are no longer canon, as every Blue Dragon WizKids does lacks said color. Pose-wise, this guy is definitely ready to rumble, mouth wide agape, note the red. He also comes with some bling. Golden bracelets on his legs and a tiara to match. Score: Paint 22, Pose 25, Playability 25, Pizzazz 25, for a score of 97. And that's it. We're done with the blues. We'll be moving on to everyone's favorite draconic forest dwellers, the green dragons, in our next video. So as always, thanks for watching Eye of the Beholder, and leave a comment below if you feel the need.